The sum and difference are very important. Oh, sure. The sum and difference are very important. You will need them in calculus. They will not give you a formula sheet in calculus. So be aware that I would start memorizing these immediately and like using them from your memory. Okay? So this is our cosine identity, and it just says that the cosine of alpha plus beta, or minus, is the cosine times the cosine of the two variables. And notice there the sign flips times the sine of alpha sine of beta. Okay? So the sign flips. So for example, here it says use the sum and difference identity for cosine to find exact values for cosine of 15 degrees. So I can find the exact value for cosine of 15 degrees because it's equal to 45 minus 30, right? So because we can use the formula, we have the cosine of 15 is equal to the cosine, gosh, I don't know why I don't want to write S's. The cosine of 45, cosine of 30, and the sign flips, so plus sine 45 or sine 30, sine 45. Right? So now I can figure it out. What's the cosine of 45? You guys, if you don't know this, you're getting lazy. You're going to need this, honest. You got to learn that unit circle. Cosine of 30. Square root of 3 over 2. And then plus sine of 30. Sine of 30 is 1/2. And then sine of 45, square root of 2 over 2. Exactly. So then we can say this is equal to the square root of 6 over 4 plus the square root of 2 over 4, which is equal to the square root of 6 plus the square root of 2 over 4. And that's an exact answer. You cannot, if you put this into a calculator, it'll get the same results, but it'll be in a decimal. It will not be acceptable to Alex. Okay? You didn't get the sheet? Hang on, I'll send it again. Some of you, it's not a Y, that's a 4. Okay, I'll try it again. So if you see something on your screen, you have to accept it. You should get a message. You have to, I think you have to accept it. Did you get it? Okay. Lauren, if you're on your phone, it's such a bad idea. And I don't know if it'll accept it. So. All right. So that's basically it. I mean, I'm not going to do B. It's exactly the same thing. You just plug it into the formula. Does everybody see that? I just need to get through this, and we spent a lot of time on review, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. Okay? Any questions? Okay. So now let's do this problem. It says write this as a single expression in cosine and evaluate cosine 57, cosine 78 minus sine 57, sine 78. So how do I do this? Anybody? Well, notice that the cosine, no, you can't flip. No. So if the cosine of A plus B is equal to cosine A, cosine B, minus sine A, sine B, right? Does this look like anything familiar? Okay, so what do I do? Well, if this is A, and this is B, and this is A, and this is B, yeah, exactly. So this becomes cosine of 57 plus 78 degrees, which equals cosine of 135 degrees. What's the cosine of 135 degrees? What quadrant is it in? What's the reference angle? Good. Exactly. Perfect. So the reference angle is 45. What is the cosine at 45 degrees? It's not in quadrant 1, it's in quadrant 2. Root 2 over 2. In quadrant 2, is the cosine positive or negative? There you go. There's your answer. You see, like once you kind of get the hang of quadrant 1, reference angles, and what quadrant something's in, it's very simple to find your point. Does that make sense? Okay. Good. So that's the answer. All right, so it says, given the sine of alpha, good. Given the sine of alpha equals 5 over 13 with the terminal side in quadrant 1, and tangent of beta equals minus 24 over 7 with the terminal side in quadrant 2, compute the value of cosine alpha plus cosine beta. All right, so let's write out the formula. So cosine of, I'll just call it A plus B, is equal to the cosine of A, cosine of B, sine flips, minus sine A, sine B. Okay, so now what? Any ideas? All right, so when you don't know what to do, what do? Did I tell you this rule? If you don't know what to do, do something. Anybody remember? Maybe I didn't tell you yet. If you don't, no. If you don't know what to draw a triangle, let's draw a triangle. If you don't know what to do, draw a triangle. Okay, so we'll call this triangle alpha. So the sine of alpha, or A, for our case A, write A so it doesn't get confusing. Sine A. Okay, and probably should write it alpha because that's what the problem says. Okay, so if I know sine of A equals 5/13, what do I write? Opposite is A. Opposite is 5, right? And hypotenuse is 13. Adjacent is X, exactly. Right, I use Pythagorean to get X. I'm in quadrant 1, so everything's positive. So I have 5 squared plus X squared equals 13 squared. And I believe this is a perfect 5, 12, 13 triangle. So here x is 12, right? Okay. Then I have another triangle. Let me go. My phone's going off. I know people communicate with me sometimes through my phone. Hold on a second. Let me just see if it's a student or not. Okay, nope. Well, not from your class anyway. Okay, so here we have beta. This is my beta triangle. So what do I know about this? The sine is 24. Well, not the sine exactly, but the y, right? Yeah. And the x is 7. And I believe this is a 7, 24, 25 triangle. Okay? And then, yeah, Griffin.
I thought that would be a -7.
Yeah, that's what you took the words right out of my mouth. So because we're in quadrant 2, this has got to be -7.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So now we can finish. But now we can solve the problem because we want to know what the cosine of a plus b or alpha plus beta is. Well, it's cosine alpha. What's cosine alpha? Good. 12 over 13. What's cosine beta? -7 over 25. Exactly. And then we have minus sine alpha, which is and sine beta exactly. Let's see. 84 minus 120 over, let's see, 12 quarters is 325. Anybody with a calculator is more than welcome to. So this is 636 over 325. Is that right? Actually, I think something's going to be negative here. We didn't get the negative thing right. Oh, no, this is negative. Sorry. So this is not right. This is minus 204. I think that's right now. Anybody got calculators out checking me? I don't know. They usually give you a calculator when you need one. The only thing they don't give you a calculator for that I'm most concerned about is that you know your points on the unit circle. I don't think you've had to do anything. Yeah, thanks. I don't think you guys have had to do anything terribly arithmetic. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. All right. So, any questions? All right. Onward. So how do I find the exact value of cosine 40, cosine 80 minus sine 40, sine 80? Katie. I did. Are you not paying attention? Good. That's all. So cosine. So this becomes cosine. Exactly. This becomes cosine of 40. And because the sign is negative, it becomes plus 80. What's the cosine of 120? So first thing is, in what quadrant is it in? 2. Good. So what's the reference angle? No. What's the reference? 60. The reference angle, 60. Excellent. What's the cosine of 60? Nope. Right. And since it's in quadrant 2, is it positive or negative? There you have it. So there's your answer. Perfect. Good job, guys.